Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever one it happens to be for you. So, yes, Ange Postecoglou, as we all know, has been sacked. So, there is plenty to talk about. Let's get into it. So, as reported yesterday and confirmed by the football club, Ange Postecoglou has been relieved of his duties at Tottenham Hotspur. I'm going to go through a few things with you guys. I want you to put your opinions down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. So, first of all, we do have a statement from the club. I'm sure that most of you have read it by now, but I think that for me, what they said, I can see it's fairly like it is fairly logical if you think about what they said, and I'm not going to deny that what they said was in a way sort of like head over heart, sort of that kind of feeling, because what they said was regarding the lack of wins, and of course that was a big factor in what they put on to their decision, like what they decided. So I do understand it. I'm not trying to say that I don't understand what they were trying to say. But as I said, I do feel like it was on the harsher side. I think that, as I always have said, I felt like he deserved to stay. I think that because of the fact of him winning and the players believing in him, I always thought that he deserved to stay a little bit longer. But that's obviously not what happened, and it is what it is. But yeah, as I say, I feel like that the club came out and said what they needed to say, really, and it did make me feel a bit sad. I'm not going to lie. When I read the statement, um, I can read a little bit for you, but like I say, it is on the website. Following the review of performances after significant reflection, the club can announce that Ange Postecoglou has been relieved of his duties. So, relieved of his duties doesn't say that he has been sacked, but that's another way of nicely saying that he's been sacked. You've been relieved of your duties. It wasn't a mutual thing. So I think that says a lot. We're extremely grateful to Ange for his commitment and contribution during his 2 years at the club. Ange will always be remembered as only the third manager in our history to deliver a European trophy alongside legendary figure Bill Nixon and Keith Birkinshaw. So yeah, they're saying on one hand that he will be remembered. On the other hand, of course, is the fact that we have lost so many games. So yeah, as I say, it is rather sad, but there we go. Let's then go to Ange Postecoglou's statement. Now, I felt like this was really heartfelt. I felt like that what Ange was saying was really lovely, and yeah, I did get a bit emotional. Not going to lie, reading it, seeing what he actually said. I think that again, he really does speak from like the heart. He said, "When I reflect on my time as a manager of Tottenham Hotspur, my overriding emotion is one of pride. The opportunity has led to one of England's historic football clubs, and bringing back the glory it deserves will live with me for a lifetime. Sharing that experience with all those who truly love the club and seeing the impact it had on them is something I will never forget. That night in Bilbao was the accumulation of 2 years of hard work, dedication, unwavering belief in a dream. There were many challenges to overcome and plenty of noise that came with trying to accomplish what many said was not possible." I think as well, that's like a little bit of a dig. I'm not going to lie, because he was saying like it's not. People were saying it wasn't possible, but he did it, and I think that saying about like those who haven't actually managed to achieve that, he did manage to accomplish that. So yeah, whilst I think it is sincere, I do feel like there was a little dig in there. I'm not going to lie. Let me know how you feel about both statements. Um, we've also had the players come out and have their say. I'm not going to read them all, but I will be putting them on the screen for you. So as you can see, a lot of the players have come out. I don't remember this many coming out when it was Conte. I'm not going to lie. I think that hardly anybody come out and said anything. And this is so far. I'm pretty sure that most of the players will come out and say something. And if you read what they've said, especially Porro, Vic, they were very heartfelt. Mickey as well. All of them were really heartfelt. Sonny saying thank you for giving him the captaincy. There were some beautiful things said in their messages, and they've all wished him best of luck. So it just shows you how much they really do respect him. They even said that they respect him. So I think that just shows you what a person that he is, and I think that says a lot. I think that does say a lot about somebody when people come out and all wish him the best of luck. I think that it just shows that people really, really sincerely liked him at the club. I never doubted that. I never doubted that I never thought he'd fallen out with any of the players, but I'm sure that a lot of people still were speculating that he did, but I never believed it. So yeah, it's like, again, I think the players are going to feel a certain kind of way. And listen, if the players who wanted to leave anyway leave, then I think they probably wanted to leave. If players who want to leave because of Ange, I mean, then again, I'm not a person that's player FC. I'm not a manager FC kind of girl. I think that what's best for the club is players that want to be here. So I wouldn't want a player to be here if that's not what he wants. Honestly, I really don't want that. I don't want players here that don't want to be here. I've said this all along. I said that about Harry Kane. So my stance does not change. And if they want to be here just because of the manager, then I get that they want to go because maybe they feel disappointed in the way that the manager was treated more so than anything. And I get it. So if that's what they want, then they can go. I'll be sad to see this group broke up so much if a lot of them do leave, but we'll have to wait and see. And also how they behave if they don't leave, but they wanted to leave. That's obviously another factor. Hopefully a manager will come in and will be make them believe and give them something that they wish to stay and look at Tottenham as a place that they've won and they wish to try and continue that with. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. So Ange is gone. So what is next? We have been linked to a lot of managers, but the biggest link is Frank. Me personally, not for me. I feel like it's a sideward step. He lost one more game than what we lost in the time that Ange has been here. So he won one more, or we lost one more. I can't remember which way around it is. But anyway, he's basically very close to Ange Postecoglou in that fact. And everybody got onto Ange for losing so many games. So I think that if you're going to compare them, he's never won anything anywhere. And people will say, well, he was doing so well at Brentford. However, for me, I feel like, hold on a second. If he was doing so well, why didn't somebody grab him before? He has been there a really long time and nobody else has come in for him. There was football clubs that had got rid of their managers and they never went in for him. People saying, "Oh, Slot was." When I think Liverpool were looking at Slot, they looked at him, but did they? But they didn't go for him, though, did they? They didn't offer him anything. No, they looked at him and said, "Not for us." So I just think that that's not true. As in, it's not true that they actually wanted him, because if they wanted him, they would have got him, right? Nobody else has got him. Nobody else has wanted him in all this time. So for me, I feel like it's a bit of a sidestep. I think Glasner would be a good option, but I don't think we're going to get him. So I feel like the ones that we're looking at just don't feel right for me, don't sit right for me, and I don't feel like are a better than Ange option. And I think that's a big mistake that the club are going to make if they appoint Frank. I will back him, however, if he comes. I will always back the club, I'll always go and watch the matches, and I'll always be supportive of Tottenham. But I feel that this could be the wrong decision if they bring Frank in, and that is just my gut feeling. I could be completely wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong, but I just don't think it is a big step forward. As I say, I feel like it is a bit more of a side step, in my humble opinion. Let me know what you think. Who would you bring in? I think that, like I say, the calibre manager that we probably were looking for, in my opinion, to step up wouldn't come to us, or we won't be able to get. I don't want Marco Silva either, who's also been linked. I think if we get a young up-and-coming manager, again, the lack of experience, I just don't know what we're doing if we're going to get somebody who has got that lack thereof, experience-wise. I think that it's not a good look. I think that we have to think about the future. And for me, it isn't just about getting in the top 4, top 5, top 6. For me, it's going to be still continuing to try and challenge for trophies. I think that we need to be up there in the table. I've never ever said that 17th was acceptable, and I didn't believe that in the future that would happen again. I think that was an anomaly, in my personal humble opinion. So I felt that wouldn't happen, but I do understand why people got upset about it, because it wasn't acceptable. However, I think that if we get, say, 10th and we're out of all the cups early on, I don't see that as an improvement, because I feel like we need to be pushing every single year to be as far as possible in these cup runs, because they are what will get us close to trying to win stuff. If we keep pushing to do that, it's that feeling of being in the finals, semi-finals, etc. And I don't think we're going to win the Premier League at any point. So I don't see why we should be thinking that will be our aim, in my personal opinion. We've not won the Premier League ever. The last time we won a league was in the 60s. So we've always been a cup team. So for me personally, I would want to go for the FA Cup and League Cup and go far, far, far into those competitions. That's where I feel like what we should be doing, and aiming, of course, to be up as high as possible on the table, absolutely. But I wouldn't sacrifice cups to be fourth. I would rather us be in a final again than to be fourth. I'd rather be sixth and be in a final, because I think that trophies are what everybody judges it on. When we had Poch, everybody said, hold on a minute, we're not winning trophies. We're up there, but we're not winning anything. We got called Spursy because we didn't win anything. So the whole point is to win something. And for me, that's important. And to get that winning mentality, what they count their big clubs on is the amount of trophies that they have. So for me, I feel like that's important still, and that we should still be aiming to try and be getting those trophies. And like I say, yes, be up high on the table, but we need a manager that's going to have that winning mentality to say, yes, we're going to go and push on in all of the cups that were available for us to try and win. When you look at Postecoglou, that's the sort of mentality he had. Poch said that cups build egos. I don't want that again. I want somebody who wants to respect those cups and get far in those cups, in my humble opinion. I did always say when Ange made too many changes in the game for when we lost against Fulham, I think it was Fulham, that I didn't agree with that, because I wanted us to play a stronger team because I think that it was important for us to go in those far in those competitions. But we got fifth and ended up going in Europa and winning it. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. I know people probably disagree with me and say that being fifth, fourth up there is important. It is important in a way, but the thing is, we're not going to win the league. So being up as high as we can, but is cool, good. But I want us to try and win more trophies. So that means being in finals and semi-finals of League Cup, FA Cup, Champions League. I think it's tricky, and the Premier League is definitely for us out of reach. So for me, those things are important. I want another parade, is what I'm saying. I want another parade to feel the way I felt when I went to the Europa win one. So that was a night, for the night we was there at the stadium. I was at the stadium watching the game, and then that day of watching the parade, I will never forget for the rest of my life. And I want that feeling again, because that feeling made me feel that way again about my club, which I haven't felt in a really, really long time. So I really, really want to feel that all over again. Let me know what you think is important, what you believe we should be doing, who we should be hiring, and yeah, just give me all of your opinions, because all opinions are important. Please keep it respectful in the chat, and I will try and reply to everybody who puts in a comment. So please take very, very good care of yourselves, even, and we will speak again real soon.